Crazy. Let's move on to some questions. We got a lot from this week, last week, and others that that I copied and pasted from the comments on Lonzo's channel. Once again, hit that like button before we continue if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Nightbreed asked us a couple times. I was trying to get it to it last week, but he's asking it the bass shaker idea that Eazy E had before Dr. Dre. Can you shed some light on that, Lonzo? Do you know anything about that?
I heard very little about that, dude. I can't elaborate on that one too much. I heard about it, but it was kind of it was like an idea, and even though they did any research to do a partnership or anything like that, but I can't elaborate much on that one. I do know for a fact that the detachable cords on beats came from Lonzo, because Dre was always tearing up my damn headphones, and I made the comment they need to make headphones with detachable cords. And that's the only thing really mess up on it. If you don't crush them, only thing messed up on headphones is the cords. Okay, and he was notorious for trying to get on the phone or doing too much at one time. And next thing you know, a brand new set of headphones would be only one ear. The only thing caused that is the cord broke on the inside. And because it wasn't detachable, you had to buy another pair of headphones. That's no bullshit.
Yeah, I can't even lie. I think every rookie studio engineer or person that does this like myself has messed up headphones, because before I learned a couple times, I would just get up and didn't even realize the damn thing was head. Then they go flying across the room. So I can see how you can go through many a headphone, man.
Yeah, next thing you know, you got one ear. You're doing this shit the whole damn time.
Someone wants to know, Lonzo, can you shed some light on L.A. Dre and his role at Ruthless? Is it true him and Dre had similar ears and became a technician?
L.A. Dre was a serious. He was a music guy from the neighborhood. L.A. Dre, me, L.A. Dre, Stan the Guitar Man. We all come from the same neighborhood. Okay. L.A. Dre played keyboards. L.A. Dre was in bands before he got with N.W.A. or Dre or Ruthless or whoever it was. Talented brother. And in fact, L.A. Dre is kind of responsible for the world-class Wrecking Crew sound to a certain degree. I'm at Eve After Dark. L.A. Dre comes in the studio comes to the club one day. He got this little machine. It looked like a vocoder. I mean, it looked like a equalizer, but it was a vocoder. And he said he bought it from a guy who got mad because it didn't work. He said the equalizer don't work. And it was a vocoder. I'm looking for a vocoder. It was a Roland 350 vocoder. And he sold it to me for $100. And that gave us our sound for Juice and a lot of our other records. And we didn't use him on any of our projects per se, but I know Stan the Guitar Man was around, and later on, Dre recruited both of them to come do tracks for Ruthless and Cuba, if I ain't mistaken.
Nice. Let's see. B Minor wants to know, how important was Donovan Smith to the sound of Wrecking Crew and N.W.A? Break down Donovan Smith.
Donovan Smith, they call him the biker. I was with Donovan early this year at spent a couple days with him in Vegas and then at the NAMM show. And he was the first guy that we knew had a full-blown studio on this side of town. When we first met him, he had a 24-track recorder, but he had 3 8-track mixers tied to that, because all he could do was cut. He could not mix because he couldn't have the control at one time. And a dude named George introduced me to Donovan. And when I got ready to do my records, I went to Donovan. He was charging like $35 an hour, which was right up my alley. We went over there with Daniel Sofer, another keyboard player that Unknown turned me on to, who was sitting in the studio. In fact, he's over here playing on his phone right now. Maybe I get him on the channel. Get him to say something in a few minutes. And Donovan was doing a lot of rock and roll stuff. And we were the first ones to bring him anything hip hop. And we literally paid for most of the stuff in the studio. When he got his Trident board, the first we got our CBS deal, and when he got his Trident board, we were the first one. We cut it we cut there first, and then he was able to get the Trident board later on, because we ended up mixing some of our songs at Larrabee. I think we took from the 12 inches to Larrabee. We wanted a fatter sound. But yeah, Donovan played a big role because he helped solidify, because nobody knew exactly how to get what we wanted. He had the technical skills, and we just told him what we wanted, the fat bass, whatever the case may be. And he also knew all the studios to go to get certain sounds, because every studio won't give you the sound that you want. And I think when we did, I think it was Juice, we went to Larrabee's and cut and mixed it Larrabee's. But everything else, turn off the lights, was all done at his studio. By the time he had this Trident board, he was balling. But yeah, he played a big role in everything, because everybody, Wrecking Crew, early N.W.A, we all supported Donovan, and he was a big part of what we did.
Nice. Big Marlon wants to know, yo, Unc, got any connection with Chris the Glove Tailor? And before you answer that, give us a breakdown of what you remember about Chris the Glove Tailor's come up.
Chris the Glove Tailor is a good buddy of mine. We talk all the time. Chris was a crosstown DJ. He played over there at the Radiotron with Ice-T. They had a couple of records. I forgot the name of his records. It was unknown to tell me. He's sitting right here. But him and Ice-T was a duo, and we were doing East Side stuff. They was doing West Side stuff. And Dre, and at some point in time, Dre started dealing with Chris the Glove, and Chris kind of got him exposed to the West Side of town. And they started doing stuff together. Then when Dre blew up, he brought him in, because Chris he's a true musician. He's a true musician and a producer. So he has a whole different ear background. I think he was a church kid, if I ain't mistaken. Let me see something. Let me see something. Hold on now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And Big Marlon, if you want to hear a dope interview that I did with Chris the Glove Tailor, go to YouTube after the show, search Dusty Vision, Chris the Glove Tailor, and I did a whole hour interview with him, and we got into it deep, man. This dude has produced for the likes of Nas, Foxy Brown. I mean, he was that big when Dre ended up going over to Aftermath and starting his own thing. Chris the Glove Tailor did a lot of stuff over there for a lot of Dre's early projects. Yeah, he's a beast when it comes to that whole thing, man. Yeah.
I had his number here.
I mean, I probably have it in my phone, actually. I could text it over to you. Hold on one second. I bet you I have it.
Okay.
Let's see. Boom, boom, boom.
We were talking about doing something. We just haven't gotten around to it as usual.
If Chris Tailor comes up. No. Oh, well. It's all good. Well, we'll get him. We'll definitely get him on the show, because he has a very, very, very interesting story.